Hi, and welcome to the Electronic Show, number 5 this time. I'm sorry for being a little bit late. I should have been here about 12 minutes ago, but something came in the way, so I couldn't actually reach it right here now. But I'm here right now, and the things we're going to talk about today is the Christmas lights and the vintage and modern calculators. These calculators that I collect are basically just vintage calculators, things from the past, as you probably know, retro stuff and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you a few of those and talk a little bit about those as well. All right, let's see if everything works as it should. We are streaming right now. Yep, we are. Chat window is up and running. Yep. All right, that's it. That should be it. Okay. Yeah, I am going to check to see if we are live for real because I'm not really 100% sure that it is doing what it should. Yeah, it is. No problem. Okie doke. Good to know, good to see. See if I can get this right again. Hi, Peter. And thank you for that intro, by the way. Let's see here. Google. If you just joined, we are right now talking about vintage calculators. And here's a few of them. One wonders what one is actually using this device for at all these devices for today, and I can tell you they're quite as useful, just as useful as the old, no, the newer calculators are, if not even better, because they have this glowing light, fluorescent light on them, or LEDs for that matter, so you can use them in all kinds of light conditions. And even though they used a little bit more battery than the modern ones, they still don't use that much battery, so they're quite useful even today. So sometimes when I'm on the flea market, I actually do pick it up if I can. Right? Chat is working as well. That's good. All right. Yes. And I do have some of these in my collection. Let's check it out. I do believe this one is really old. This one. This is a Casio. It still works. If we take a look at it. Yeah, let's go to the close-up camera and check it out. You see there's a line, a line of segments missing. I'm typing 8 on it. But I do believe this one has one of the more rare tubes, fluorescent vacuum tube versions. So we can maybe check that out later on. I'm not really sure. Here's another one I'm actually using. But this one works just fine. You can see all the segments here are appearing. It's another vintage calculator. This is the LC Mate from Sharp. There's another one. Citizen 801D. I don't think I have batteries for this one. Yeah, I don't think I have the batteries for this one. And here's another one. The Citizen 830 SR. Oh, that's a switch between degree and rad and grad. Let's see if there's any life in this. Nope, not really. Probably just missing batteries. This one. Oh, that was weird. Life on this one. Quite pretty as well. Okay. Neat. Yep. Bunch of old calculators. They still work just great. I don't have any issues with these. Using those because they're just practical, and I think I still use a lot of them. I just have one of them in every single room because they're just as practical as any other calculators. They're vintage though. I usually buy them for $1 at the flea market. But normally when I use my best friend and calculator in a way, it is the TA83 Plus. This one. You probably already know this from your school days. What I like about this calculator is that it's very easy to use. It has a memory history, if you like. So when you do something, let's say 45 times 45, and then you divide by 25, for example, you can see there's a history. So every time you add or divide or anything like that, you can always go back in history, because it has a memory for that. Of course, this is an advanced calculator with graphing and everything else. There's even a programming language in it, but I rarely use that. But I like that calculator for this reason. I also like the fact that it's really fast, and it's on really fast. It's there when I need it. That's one of those things that I like about this. So this is an old faithful friend of mine, so to speak. But I went to America many years ago, and sometimes when I go to America, I like to visit so-called thrift stores. A thrift store is like a second-hand store to you Europeans. It's kind of like just a second-hand store where you can buy all kinds of stuff that people have discarded, or people don't want anymore, or maybe just tired of. And it's really rare for me to actually find something really technical in a thrift store. If it is, it's usually a vintage thing, like an old video game or something like that. That's why I really go to those old vintage stores, because it is possible to find all kinds of stuff like that. However, when I went to America last time, I went into a thrift store and I did find something really interesting. I found a new version of this one. This one is the old Texas Instrument 83 Plus. But then I find something called Texas Instruments Inspire, and that is a modern version of that. This one here. And I was thinking, oh wow, that is got to be the mother of all calculators. And I was thinking, oh wow, this thing, I gotta have this thing. And the lady in the thrift store, she was like, yeah, that will be $120. Which I was thinking, okay, $120. What do you think? This is some kind of a supercomputer or something like that? I mean, they don't even sell new for that. So yeah, but it's a very good with the $120. And I was thinking, okay, 120. Do you even know how to use this? No. But there was this student that came in and said they didn't need it anymore, and it's supposed to be very modern, etc., etc. So it's got to be worth $120. Of course, I ended up paying $40 for it because they had no idea what it was, and neither did I, to be honest. I just saw a modern calculator and I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna have this thing. But when I found out how to use this thing, I was thinking, because this one is much better. At least for an old geezer like me. This one is fast, it's on immediately when I start it, and it can last for 6 months on the same batteries. This thing is like a freaking Macintosh from the 80s built in as a calculator, and I'm not kidding you. I'm going to show you exactly why I'm thinking like that. I'll show you why. Let's go to the close-up camera. Okay, I have never seen a calculator before that needs to boot up. Okay, but this is it. I'm gonna start this by. I've already made it boot, so I'm gonna make it boot again, just by doing something. Okay. All right. Look at that. It has to boot. Can you see that screen? It has to boot first before you start the calculator. So it's like booting a computer. There's even some kind of a mouse screen here coming up soon with a mouse pad and everything else as well. Watch this. See that clock in the middle there? They're representing a mouse or something like that, because there's supposed to be a mouse pad here. And I kid you not, that thing is actually a mouse pad. If I can get it to work. See what happens. Sometimes it's a little bit sensitive. There it is. You can see the mouse on the screen moving right there. Can you see that? And you have to, like, if you want to use the calculator, you have to select calculator mode, just like a screen. There are windows and drop down stuff and all that, just like a computer. And I was like, when I checked this thing out for the first time, I was thinking that, but I just want a normal calculator. What? Can't I just get a normal calculator? I was wondering, how do I even use this thing? Times 2. Okay, that worked. Plus 24. So yeah, that somewhat works, you know? But it's kind of like I don't quite feel home using this thing. I mean, it has like a billion buttons and stuff like that. And I was thinking, you need to boot this thing just to make simple calculations. Seriously? Yeah, it is. It's just simply too advanced even for me. So, but it actually came with a bunch of extra equipment. It has USB cables and interface cables, charge cables, and all kinds of stuff. And it has an extra keyboard. It is actually possible to change it into the older calculator, believe it or not. And I'm not kidding about that. So if I'm missing this one, I can actually change it into a more modern version of this. And I kid you not. You gotta see this to believe it. You gotta see this. First I have to turn it off, like this. And then there's the keyboard release function here on the back. Yeah, believe it or not, I can actually change the freaking keyboard. So now I can make it in a shapeshift into the other calculator I just shown you here. As you can see, this looks more familiar now. This one is the 83 Plus, and this is the TI 84 Plus. So this one will make it simulate a TI 84 Plus instead. Still needs to boot though. That's sad. So let's turn it on and see what happens when I do this. Now it has to reboot, because I do believe the ROM chip for this, the program, the software, is actually inside the keyboard. Yeah. The usual boot screen with the little mouse. And now it's loading that. Loading the Texas Instrument 84. And now it has the screen that we are so familiar with, you know, the cursor, the blinking cursor. And and now it's supposed to behave like one of these normal calculators. And I can just do what I'm used to doing, you know. And now it works exactly like the other calculator does, you know, scroll back screen and everything else. And of course, if I'm turning this one off now, It will be sent right back into kind of like a standby mode. So if I'm using this now the next few 12 hours or something like that, it will still be ready for use again, if you like. So if I'm turning this one on, it will be exactly where it left it. But if I am leaving this for, let's say, a half a week or something like that, it will have to boot again, because it will need to boot the operating system again, because it's kind of like a computer. It has an operating system that needs to be booted with all kinds of software and stuff like that in it. So I can tell you this, I don't really use this. This one is just draining batteries for me. I mean, I can leave this in the drawer and the batteries will be gone within a month or something like that. No, there it uses like 4 batteries, and the batteries will be gone if I just leave this one in the drawer. So I literally never use that one. This thing here, I mean, it's the same thing basically, and I can just leave this one in the drawer for 2 years and it'll still work just as fine as the other time. So that was more my kind of calculator. They actually make a color version of this one now. Let's check that one out. There's a Wikipedia page for it. Yeah, and that's how the color version looks these days. Very fancy, very pretty. Has colors and everything else, and a much better screen. The screen that I have in this one is not particularly pretty because there's no backlight or anything like that. It's like they were not really thinking when they made it. There's no rechargeable batteries or anything like that either. But this newer version of that exactly the same calculator also now comes with a built-in charger and a color screen and everything else. So yeah. Yep. All right. Enough about calculators and vintage calculators. We might actually tear this Casio down later on in order to see if we can repair it, because it has that one line only thing. That one line issue that it has. Because I'm sort of thinking that's got to be a simple thing. If it's not the chip that is blown up, I'm thinking it's got to be a really simple thing to be fixing. Because it's kind of a pity that it's like that. That it only has these lines missing, as you can see here. The line down here. I'm guessing it's some kind of a contact point that is wrong with it, of some sort. That's why it's missing that last line on the digits. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I'm going to talk about Christmas light, and let's check out some houses. If I even dare to do that with YouTube these days. Let's go to YouTube and see if we can find some houses with some decorations on it. I don't know if you guys have been decorating your houses yet lately. Oh wow. Well, I can pretty much tell you my house is not going to look exactly like this, because that's just a little bit too over the top for me. That's just crazy. Look at that. That is insane. Some people are going really crazy. This is probably more like me, the one I'm looking at here, because I was just putting up Christmas lights here today. I'm not even finished because I went way overboard with my Christmas lights this year, because I saw my neighbors has some Christmas lights and I was thinking, okay, I'm not gonna let myself be outlighted by my neighbors just by someone putting up a little Christmas lights. I'm gonna be a part of a neighborhood and do the same thing, of course. But I think I went overboard because I shouldn't have bought this many lights. I did buy 3 extra stripes, 3 extra chains of lights, and together, all in all, I think I have like 1760 LEDs, which is way too much actually. I'm gonna show you mine later on. Let's see if somebody's joining. New? Not really. Okay. Anyway, I do believe we have 4 viewers or 3 viewers right now. Not really. Oh, we have 5 viewers, but only Peter is talking. Okay. We have exactly the same as yesterday. Alright, welcome to everybody who's watching and joining. We're talking about Christmas lights. We talked about vintage calculators, but as with everything we do here on the show, you'll be able to see it later. So everything if you missed something, you'll be able to tune back later and see what you missed. So you won't miss anything. But yeah, I have been putting up at least 75% of my Christmas lights now, and I will show you some of those. I have a little clip of the lights I put up today, and this is exactly how it looks. This is my house and in the night right now, and these are red, green, and blue, and orange, and all kinds of colors that I have. It's not easy to film in the middle of the night. It's not very visible, not easy to film, at least not with my camera. But I think I bought way too many lights. I yet have to put up these Christmas lights here. I don't know if you guys have been buying Christmas lights yet. If you have, please just mention it in the chat here if you want to. I'll do that, Peter. I'll check that out later. But let's check out some of the lights I bought. These modern lights here comes with a transformer and a button here, which is used to switch between the various modes. I'm kind of stumped at how they did this, because the wire only has 2 wires here, so there must be some kind of a timing in order to do these different lights, because I haven't seen any microcontrollers or anything like that on these. So I don't really have any idea how they've done this actually. But let's check it out. Let's see how they work. These are essentially the same lights that I put up outside. Just haven't put up all the lights yet. So let's check it out. Yeah, these are lights. And there are different modes. Of course, if I use this mode, the neighbors are going to go crazy. So I used to just standby mode instead of this, because the neighbors are going to go crazy if it's going to look like this all the time. So there are different modes. I'm pressing different modes right now. This is the smooth transition mode, I believe. As you can see, it's transitioning between the different colors. This is like going nuts, yalla yalla crazy pizza bar mode. And another one with I do believe this is the all colors all on mode. No, it's just smooth transitions. There's another crazy mode. This is the all on mode, I believe. Okay. This is the one I'm choosing when I have it outside. Because otherwise it's going, the neighbor would be going crazy if it was blink, 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 blink all the time. So I'm not going to do that. But as you saw here, I have put it up around the whole entire house. And I can tell you, I really risked my life doing that. I even bought a new ladder doing this, because that was not an easy thing to do. You can imagine me up on that terrace there, standing on a really big 7-step step ladder on the top of the balcony, and on the highest step I was just trying to nail these into the roof, and that was kind of dangerous, and I was a bit afraid, I have to say that. So it was kind of scary. Peter says he has a little light outside the house. It's up all year and he shares it with his neighbor. Okay, fair enough. It's also very modern these days to actually use the Christmas lights more than just Christmas. I know for a fact that one of my neighbors actually has these white lights, or these warm white lights, and he even uses them in the summer. He uses them all year round. And I've been permanently putting these up myself now, so they are like, I have experienced something, because when I moved here to Sweden, I did put up those white LEDs myself, and they lasted roughly 4 years. They started to die on me after just a couple of years. Then there was one segment of 10 LEDs that were dying, and the next year there was like 3 or 4 segments of 10 LEDs around the house that were dying. So it looks like a really crappy Christmas light or something like that. It was too cheap to buy new or anything like that, because people were asking, "Wow, aren't you just going to take that down?" No, because I worked for days just to get that Christmas lights up. And in the end, last year it was just dying on me, so I just moved the whole entire thing before I embarrassed myself, because it kind of looked like, it looked cheap because it was half broken and all that. So this time I have been setting up these new lights, and I really went all overboard with the lights, because I even bought these. These are like, and I'm not kidding you, 1,160 LEDs package. Talk about going crazy, huh? 1,160 LEDs. And these are like 7 meters. And I don't really know how I'm gonna put this up. This is like a huge mess of LEDs. And I'm kind of intimidated by that. And I'm thinking, ugh, I'm gonna put this up. Oh. I mean, it took me half the day just to put up that light you just saw on the video there. It took me half the day, and it becomes really dark right now. So I guess I got to spend parts of tomorrow, or at least parts of Sunday, doing this to get the rest of the lights up. Because I have a friend coming over to tomorrow, and I'm going to sell a couple of things that I have and I don't really use. And I'm gonna buy a couple of things too, maybe some arcade parts. I've already said too much, so that will be interesting for you guys. But I will not do a show during the weekend, because I need a rest just like everybody else. So I will try to do an hour to 2 hour show every single day, weekdays between Monday and Friday. This being Friday, therefore the last show of this week. So I'll try to do that, of course. Yeah, real life Chevy Chase there. Totally National Lampoon Christmas. I love that show, by the way. They are back on Netflix. Netflix is kind of like a tradition. They remove it from Netflix during the year, and it always comes back every single Christmas on Netflix. It never fails to National Lampoon's Christmas with the Griswolds. And if I was married and had kids, I would probably be Clark Griswold, that's for sure. You should have seen me trying to put up the lights. I was there with my stapler, like under the roof, balancing, on a ladder. Yeah, it was hilarious for you probably, but really nervous for me. And I have memories of falling down. Not this time, but I've fallen down earlier when I was trying to paint the house, and I nearly ended up hospitalized. So yeah, I know exactly how that's gonna go. So hopefully not this time. But I have these extra lights to set up, and I'm probably not gonna do that tomorrow, because I have somebody coming over tomorrow, and we are going to exchange parts. He's going to bring along a bunch of arcade parts, maybe an Atari Junior fully boxed as well, Atari 2600 fully boxed. So it's going to be interesting to see that. We'll perhaps look at that on Monday, look at the score I got during the weekend on the Monday. That's going to be interesting. I'll be right back. I'll show you something. I'll show you something before it's gone. See if I can get this. It's kind of heavy and a little bit dusty, because I don't really use this. But I'm going to show you guys this for the last time ever. This, my friends, is a Fluke 900 dynamic troubleshooter, and this is going to a home that is much more deserving than this home. And you're probably wondering, what could be more deserving than this home? Well, sometimes there are things that I don't really need and I have to part with, because, you know, if you want to buy new stuff, you gotta get rid of some old stuff. And that's exactly how I get components most of the time anyway, because I have to get rid of some of the old stuff. This is a Fluke. This is the interface buffer for it, by the way. And I'm going to try to explain to you what it is and what it does and what it doesn't do. I'll try to show you this. This is the Fluke 900 dynamic troubleshooter. It looks like a very fancy instrument. It is really not from the 80s. It's more like from the 90s, early 2000. It is a very, very interesting instrument indeed, and is very sought after by pinball enthusiasts. Let's see if I have. I can power it on here. Anyway. Alright, let's do this. It's a bit noisy, but I'm gonna power it on so you can see it. See if I can bring the camera over so you can actually see it in all its glory. It has way too many cables, and this place is way too cramped. But the reason I'm showing you this today is because it's the last day you're going to be able to see this. And it's a super, super, super rare instrument. This one is not available easily everywhere. Sometimes appears on eBay, but by far without all the equipment. Especially all the equipment that I have for this thing. Let's see if I can turn it on somewhere. There you go. It's now going through the self-test, and while it's going through its self-test, I'm going to explain to you exactly what this unit is. This is a rare instrument, to say the least. This baby here has a clip-on system which can be used to be clipped on integrated circuits directly live on the board itself while you are diagnosing it. Which means you can actually take a healthy TTL circuit or logic circuit or any kind of circuit that you want to be simulating. You can put that one in the socket here, and you can put this one on top of the corresponding unit live on the unit you're trying to test. So in fact, you can actually use this without desoldering components while you are testing, for example, old hardware like your pinball machines, PCB, etc., etc. And as you can see, this one passed the self-test just with flying colors. So this unit is 100% operational, but it's going to get a better home with someone who has who's fixing lots of vintage pinball machines, slot machines and stuff like that, and not somebody like me who only has it on the shelf and never uses it anyway. So it's going to get a better life somewhere else. So yeah. So that's basically what it does. If you have any questions, just type them down below, and I'll see if I can answer that. This thing is very noisy, so I'm going to turn it off. I have, in fact, a whole box of the various stuff for this thing. I even have big manuals for it, and test kits for it, and cartridges for it, and stuff like that. I have so much equipment for this, it's insane. Because the guy I got it from in Denmark, back then I swapped a PC that I had. I had a portable PC that I paid for. It was quite expensive back then. But I kind of wanted this device. And you can see here I have a box full of cartridges and clip-ons for it. I even have modern versions for more modern SMD circuits, SMT circuits, etc., etc., which I haven't even used those. I haven't even taken them out yet for use. You can see there's one here for SMT components instead. But it's going to be somebody else's fortune this in the future, because I have to be honest, I don't use it. It's a very valuable device. I do believe I am basically selling it for what I got paid for it. So, but it's going to get to a good home. Someone who is much more deserving of this unit than I am, basically. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, just tell me. So I'll just put it back on the shelf for now, waiting for the new owner tomorrow. It's actually not even the owner is going to pick it up tomorrow. It's somebody who's picking it up for someone. There you go. It is actually just someone who is picking it up for someone because the one who's needing this unit, I do believe they live in the United States of America, and they have someone who is fixing pinball machines. They have this circuit of friends, if you like, that helps each other out and helps each other fix things and get parts for rare parts and stuff like that. And he is coming to get that unit for her that is programming new software for this unit. Yeah, there's actually a girl that is programming new software for this unit here. And he's going to get that for her. That's pretty nice of him. Even going to put up the money for her and everything else. So that's going to be quite interesting. But he is also interested in electronics just like I am. So he told me he's going to be bringing all kinds of interesting parts that I may be interested in. So I'm going to show you that on Monday or Tuesday or something like that when we are starting the next week with the new shows. So we're going to look into all kinds of weird parts I've been possibly getting from this guy. So that's going to be interesting. And welcome to Recep. We have a new viewer joining us. So welcome. See what the time is. Oh yeah, right. As I was explaining here earlier, today I'm only going to be doing a 1 hour show. I usually do between 1 hour and 2 hours. It all depends on how many things we have to tear down and how much we have to do, etc. How many suggestions we have gotten in on what to do. So today it is like, we've been doing mostly 2 hour shows, and that takes a long time to do because there's so many things to go through. And it's more fun too when we have a whole bunch of viewers suggesting what we should do and what we should tear down, etc., etc. So I will be trying to do that every single day except Saturday and Sunday. And of course test this new screen software out and see if we can find some new special effects for it, etc., etc., etc. I'm just learning. This is just me baby stepping on Open Broadcast Studio, which is what I'm using here to transmit and mess around with. Yeah, as you can see here, various functions and stuff like that. Yeah, that's very practical. I'm hoping to buy additional cameras like this Logitech 920C. But it is a very popular camera, so it's actually sold out absolutely everywhere I tried. I've been to various stores lately, and everybody seems to want that camera because it's the only and the best web camera, obviously, there is, with autofocus, with 20 focus steps and full HDP, white balance, and all kinds of stuff. It's obviously the cream of the crop when it comes to web cameras. So it's popular and difficult to get at the right price, to put it that way. All right. Yes, shall we tear down that calculator here and see if we can fix that problem? See if we can repair this. At least we can get an idea how it looks inside. I'm kind of curious about that myself, because I think this one has one of those round fluorescent vacuum tubes. There's one screw here. There could be one behind here. I'm not really sure, but there usually is. When they do this they did this for warranty reasons back in the days. But oh, there's even a charge port and everything else. Let's check it out. Yes, Peter. I was actually checking out the special effects earlier today, and I gotta say it was less than charming. You would probably love it because one of the special effects actually made me look like a terrible demon or something like that. It was actually kind of frightening, and I'm not normally not. You are interested in horror stuff, so you probably would absolutely love the special effect on this thing. But it made my face look like a freaking demon, and everything else just vanished. And I glue up, and my eyes looked on entirely black, and I had black teeth and burning red around my eyes and stuff like that. It was really scary. So let's see if we can get this one open. Someone has been prying this open before. I can almost tell. Okay, let's open this and let you guys see. It is not me because I've never opened this thing before. Looks very elegant, very expensive looking PCB, just like they had back in those days. I'm pretty sure this was a really, really expensive calculator back in the days. Oh my god, it has this round, beautiful fluorescent VFD display. And I love the tube version, you know, the round one. These are super duper rare, so I'm guessing this is a really, really early model. And this, my friend, makes this one a great collector's item. And you know the bug we were talking about? You know, the fact that it doesn't light up in one of those segments? I do believe I just found the error. Can you see the cut one? Can you see the missing wire right there? I bet you can. So let's fix that right away. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the only problem that there is. Someone has opened this one before. You could see the marks here. Somebody's been prying this one open at some point. That's not me. That's not how I deal with things. And they have managed to break this connection here. And I'm just going to solder it together. This is going to be the easiest teardown ever. I do believe that's a calculator all in one circuit. It has a high voltage unit. It's a, oh, beautiful that is. That is a separate PCB, if you can see that. I'll put some light on. I'm going to make a dome light for this at some point, so you can see this much easier. But there is an extra PCB here just for the high power generation for the fluorescent vacuum display here, which is going to need some high power to power it, high voltage power. So that's quite impressive. This has got to be an early unit. Very exciting. I have a very sophisticated soldering iron here from Weller. This is rare because you don't really find these before. I bought this one from a factory that was out of business in Denmark, and I do believe they cost thousands of dollars because this has an automatic feeder which feeds soldering. When I press this button, it automatically feeds soldering onto it, which means I don't have to use an extra hand to feed extra solder onto it. So that's pretty neat. I love that. That should do it, I think. I think that'll be doing it. I can see there's another damage as well here, which is not so good. There's a broken PCB here. Maybe it's just barely hanging together. And if it's not coated or anything like that, I would actually try to solder it to give it a little bit of extra solder on there. If it is not, I don't think it's coated. I'm not sure. It's not coated, I think. So I'm going to give it a little bit of extra coating here because the PCB is actually broken here. Yep, come on, give me some contact, baby. There you go. We're going to give it all the contact it needs all the way. There's a little bit of lack on it, but we can melt that away. There you go. And just for good measure's sake, I will check it with a multimeter to see if it's okay. Yeah, Peter, you mentioned that word every single night. It must be interesting for you somehow. Alright, let's check this out. Let's check this out. Well, it's not easy to put that here while you're watching, but I'll try to do it. That's one of the things I was mentioning earlier, where we're going to do. That we're going to maybe make a digital interface for this Fluke, so you can actually watch what's going on the Fluke screen as well, because it has digital support, which means it's possible to watch it. Let's see if I can get it towards the light a little bit so you can see what's going on. There you go. And I'm just going to make sure that all the contacts are like they should be. Yeah, that seems fine now. So if I'm not entirely mistaken, that thing should work when I put it together. And maybe that missing segment will now also appear as it should. I have to be extra careful with this old unit, because it is vintage after all, and be extra nice to it when I put it together. So if I'm not entirely mistaken, this will redeem it and fix it. So let's do that. So let's see if that actually fixed the whole entire issue. Put the batteries back in place. If I'm not entirely mistaken, it's probably going to work just fine now. No, we still have a segment missing, which is incredible. It was broken there, but I connected it, but it still doesn't work. Wonder what could be wrong. I'll see what I can do here. I think we'll open it again, because, you know, I don't give up that easily. Could, of course, be even more broken, because, you know, the PCB itself was in fact quite broken. Let's find out. Extra careful, this unit. Alright, let's find out again if there's traces broken somewhere. I'm going to go a little bit more I'm going to check the traces now all the way from here. That seems to go from here all the way here. Oh yeah, it's broken somewhere here. Okay, it doesn't go all the way here, so there must be somewhere, it must be broken here somewhere anyway. Yeah, I can see there's a small thin hairline that goes here. You probably can't see it. Oh, you can see it on the camera. I can actually see it on the camera too. So there is a small hairline here that needs some soldering. Yep. See if that did it. that did it. There is now contact here. So let's see if there's more broken parts. There probably is, but for now it's just there. Okay, let's put it in place and see if that worked. The print is simply broken, so that's why that happened. So let's put this in place again. Let me be sure that I don't destroy anything. This old thing. Need to be gentle. Let's try again. No. It is still missing a segment. What's keeping it alive if all of those things are broken? We have already been fixing several traces now, and there's still a segment missing here. I'm wondering. I am wondering. But I'm not giving up so easily. I'm not the one to back down from a challenge. But of course, if the integrated circuit itself has been damaged, there isn't much I can do about it, because I don't have a circuit that is this old. Well, I do, but not that particular circuit, to be honest. Okay, so what's possibly missing this time? We have connections here. Now we do have this. I'll follow the trace all the way to over here. We're supposed to be. I do believe it's here and here. Okay, we have fixed that trace. That works now. But what else doesn't work? Could it be this one? No, that one works. This one works. And this one. Does it get a signal here? Yes, it does. Okay. Let's try this one. No, here. Am I half blind here? This is the right one. Yeah, right. And this one should go somewhere here. Yep. Okay. What could possibly be broken down? Wait a minute, I might see something here. I think I'm going to need some extra light in order to see this. These are flimsy connections, very easily broken. See how they are on this side. Soldering seems to be okay on this part. For basically everything. This PCB here seems to be just fine. But it is this PCB that has some issues. Kind of makes me wonder though, because, oh wait a second, there's some corrosion here. That's interesting. You can see that green stuff here. That has been some battery corrosion here at some point. Because this is basically what we just have fixed is basically just a connection to the keyboard. So that should have nothing with the missing segments to do at all. So that makes perfect sense to me at least. So we have some missing segments here. It should be one of these wires that are going to that one somewhere. We have a corroded point, and you can see there's a burning point here as well. There's some burn damage on it. Yeah, believe it or not, this thing doesn't have any contact whatsoever. Why isn't this on contact? This has contact. This has contact. Yep. But not here? Well, it does. So that's not going to work. There's just lacquer on it. So that works just fine as well. It could be caps that has been broken, but I don't think so, because that doesn't make any sense right now. I'm going to resolder those contact points just to refreshen them a little bit. Just going to freshen them up a little. See if that's going to help it a little bit. Sometimes this is caused by dead soldering joints that needs a little bit of refreshing in order to work again. We're going to go through the chip as well. And I'm quite silent when I do this because I'm thinking at the same time. So I'm not very talkative when I do this. So you have to excuse me there. I can hear that the chip is cringing as I am doing this. I can hear it say tick, 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 tick. Oh, I just found one that was really dry, a dry solder, if you like. Something that's dried really out, dried out. That could have been it. Let's find out later on. So, yeah. Oh. Have to be really careful about those solder joints here, because those are really fragile. Those right here, like super fragile. Wouldn't be surprised to see if those break soon, because they are super fragile. Okay, I'm gonna just put the batteries right in and see if it works straight off the bat. Let me see here where the batteries goes. Nobody knows. There are some leftover battery acid. Maybe I should clean that first later on. I should definitely clean my hands after this, because this is kind of ugh. No, we are still missing. Oh, you're still on this camera. You you didn't actually get to see anything I was doing. Nope. Still missing those segments. Yep. Still missing those lower segments. It could be a broken chip thing, that one of the I/O ports or outputs on this, driver outputs, the transistors are inside of this, maybe toast, because I have been going through almost all the contact points here, and I can't for the life of me find one that is broken, other than the keyboard we looked at earlier. But it technically could be somewhere. This one looks a little bit suspicious. Maybe I should take a look at that. Oops. Let's get rid of that excess solder there. Man, that is the driest stuff ever. It's just, ugh. It's just terrible. I gotta go get a sucker for that one. I'll be right back. Much better. Oops. So, that should do it. Let's see what happens. Nope, we still have a segment missing. Yeah, I do have, but I think it's toast, to be honest. One of the segments, one of the transistors on the output is probably toast. Because everything else looks just fine to me. This one looks, joints here look slightly suspicious, but I don't think it's broken. I'll check it out. See where it goes. Somewhere here. Where is this one going? Interesting. Yeah, this could be one. Let's find out where this one is going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be going here. And it looks like we have a winner. I think I have to scrape that one. I'll go get my little scalpel. And see what I can do. Hi Tim, and welcome welcome to the channel. We're currently just trying to fix an old vintage calculator because there's a missing segment here somewhere. And right now this one is under suspicion. Soldering point here. So I'm scraping off the excess lacquer in order to try to make some new contacts for it. So, there you go. Doesn't really want to work with me at all today. Think I'm gonna need my glasses for this. I'll be right back. Because we honestly don't see a thing. I'm blind as a bat. Should have some extra light here for it as well, because the microphone is in the way for it as well, so it doesn't look as bright as it normally does, even though there's like 250 watts right above me. Yep. Is it me, or is it burned right off? Really? Seriously? You gotta be kidding me. Seriously, no wonder. Wow. Right. I'm going to use a I have some wire wrap that is excellent for this kind of stuff. I'm going to go right in here. Stripper also works fine on wire wrap as far as I know. Usually does. Anyway. There we go. I'm just gonna go for the gold right in here. See what I can do in order to repair it. Too much excessive solder here. There you go. This really doesn't want to clean. There you go. That should do it just nicely. Okay, let's cut it off right there. And we have a clean contact, I think. Let's find out. Let's wrap this together. There should be contact now, at least, if it wasn't before. Yep, now there's contact. It wasn't before, so this could actually do it. Let's see what happens. And we have liftoff. The segments has been fixed. It works just like a charm again. Now we have fixed the lower segments. It works just perfect again. Great. All the buttons work, I suppose, because we fixed that broken PCB as well earlier. So that's fixed as well. So now this thing works just fine again. All right, success. We did it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I say I don't give up a patient so easily. Because you never know. You never know. Right. And I love that little round fluorescent tube, by the way. It's very pretty. Great. And that was it. Worked just fine, like it should. Alright, great. Let's see if somebody joined the chat. Alright. Well, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Peter. Yep, there is a chat indeed. And as we always do here in my electronics shop, we always put the tools together again. this is important because I don't like a mess. I don't like when everything is laying around everywhere. So when we go to the next project, everything is clean, even if it means that I have to get some of the tools again, because I like a clean slate to start from. Alrighty. My trusty fluke. There you go. And just to give you an idea what I was talking about, this is what I call wire wrap. And if you don't know what wire wrapping is, back in the olden days, they used this instead of PCB leads in order to make a prototype of a computer. For instance, if you wanted to wrap together some integrated circuits. Let's Google wire wrap so you can see some of the those examples. Let's check this out. We can we are on YouTube now. Google, thank you very much. Wire wrapping. Well, we aren't really referring to Gervais, but it's something like this, basically. This is how they prototype computers and electronics in the olden days. They use this wire wrap here. I personally love this kind of wires because they are small, thin, and I can use them everywhere to repair PCBs, just like the calculator you saw we repaired just now, because it was easy just to strip that thing and use this to repair it quick and easy instead of just trying to make a solder out of it, because that's kind of tricky to do anyway. So yeah, so you guys have any other things we want to bring up? Because I should have actually stopped the show about a half hour ago, but you know, that challenge here just came in and made everything interesting, because we fixed some of the traces and it still didn't work. Obviously we fixed some of the keyboard functions because of the broken PCB, as you obviously could see anyway, but that segment that just wouldn't work turned out to be a burnt up trace between the VFD display, because obviously it's there are high voltages in there, and that could have burned the traces over the years. So that's what obviously happened. It burned the trace. So we fixed it in the end. Yep. And as you know, this is the last for this week. We don't do this show on the weekend, but I'm going to be back on Monday during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I'm gonna try to make it a 2-hour show, but if it doesn't, it will be between 1 hour and 2 hour every single time. And if you have suggestions to what you want to take up in this show, please leave it in the comment field down below. Also remember to press like, and also remember to subscribe if you haven't done that already. And please, please, pretty please, make sure that you spread this channel in your social media circuits and your friends or whatever forum you like to frequent, because we're relatively unknown. So it would be nice with more subscribers, because that gives you more ideas, me more ideas, so we can do more on the show, and perhaps more people will send this in stuff like this that we can look at and do live while you're watching for your entertainment. So I have been your host, Tommy Helgevold, and until next time, have a really good weekend, and thanks for coming. So thank you. I'll see you guys another time. So thanks for watching.